Hi there. In this video, we will continue to discuss the introductory sections of the report. Especially what I mean here is the psychological report, and this is the second part of this video. I hope you've already watched the first part, and I hope this second part will help you to further understand about this topic. Okay, we will now discuss about the background information. Sources for information for the background section include the person, a parent, a teacher, boss, supervisor, a physician, a therapist, or other specialist. You may also obtain information from anyone who has regular contact with the person, such as a coach, babysitter, primary daycare provider, or nurse. In addition, it is good practice to gather information from previously written records, such as a psychological and educational evaluations, medical records, and academic records based upon the nature of the referral. As a general rule, only include information that relates to the interpretation of the person's scores or test behaviors or is relevant to the referral questions. And then the question is how to collect background information. Well, several ways we can use, but here I will provide the first way is by using the interview. Several styles of interviews are appropriate for gathering background information. What works best for one examiner may not work well for another. You may obtain background information through unstructured, semi-structured, or structured interviews. And the second way is by employing questionnaire. Some examiners prefer to gather information from a questionnaire completed before the interview and then spend less time on the actual one-on-one interview. A frequent complaint that parents have, especially in custody evaluation, is that they didn't have enough time to tell the story. That's why they may prefer to use the questionnaires. When you conduct interview or sharing the questionnaires to gather information on the background information, you must consider the confidentiality issues. Confidentiality refers to the ethical obligation never to reveal information obtained through a professional relationship without consent. To collect information from sources other than the person, you must have a signed release of information form. If the person is a child, then the parents should sign this form. Permission forms are necessary to obtain written information, previous reports or medical records or such, and even to collect information over the telephone. When collecting information from various sources, be sure to protect the confidentiality of the person. The only exception to confidentiality are, for the first time, when the person or guardian gives consent to release the information. And the second is when the examiner is working with other professionals within a school, clinic, or agency. And the third is when failure to release information would violate the law. For example, you may suspect during an evaluation that a child is being physically abused by a family member. To protect the child, you would want to have this allegation confirmed or rejected by others with specialized expertise in abuse issues to ensure adequate safety for the child. Familiarize yourself with your state laws for guidance about confidentiality and the reason for breaking confidentiality that are considered to be justified. In graduate training, the supervisor has responsibility for assuring that all trainees maintain confidentiality. So this is very important, guys. What if we have the information from different sources? Okay, for the first, compare the information provided by diverse sources and note all contradictions. For example, a teacher may state that a child exhibits aggressive behavior in school, but the parents may not report this type of behavior at home. In another instance, the mother may have a higher tolerance for non-compliance than the father, leading to divergent opinions about whether the child is cooperative. Different expectations, interpersonal interactions, and situational factors can all lead to varied perception of the same person. Keep in mind that varied information and opinions about the same person do not mean that one person is right or the other is wrong. So the second point is you have to decide how to reconcile and report these differences when writing the results. In general, evaluators tend to weigh adult informants, such as parents and teachers, more heavily for observable behaviors. In example, conduct problem behaviors, and tend to weigh child self-report more heavily for emotional problem. If you are evaluating a child, then the age of the child may affect how heavily you rely on the child's self-report in comparison to the parents. As a child enters adolescence, parents invariably have less knowledge about his or her emotions and behaviors than they did when the child was younger. Therefore, adolescents may be better informants than their parents about certain topics, such as their emotional well-being, interest, fears, or feelings about school. Similarly, an elementary school teacher who sees a child for many hours a day will have more knowledge of certain behaviors than a child's junior high or high school teachers who typically see the student for one class a day. Okay, that's all. The brief explanation about how to gather background information and to keep or to maintain confidentiality and how to consider various information from different sources. I hope this brief information and brief explanation may help you to understand a bit about this topic. Okay, that's all for this second part of the video in the topic of introductory section of the psychological test report. Yeah, okay, we will continue to discuss another topic at the other videos. See you and bye. These are the references that I used to create these materials. You can find out the book and read it by yourself. Okay, thanks.